Hey everyone, welcome to the That's Allowed podcast. This is your hostess, Adrienne McKeon. And today we have Dominique Devereaux. Please introduce yourself, gorgeous.
I am enchanted to be on your podcast. It's
Oh,
so
thank you.
wonderful to see you, my love. A loud meeting with a loud. It's the loudness.
Absolutely.
In stereo. How cool is this? I've all done that twin vibe. That just, that yin, that yang, that, we hit them with the 1-2 punch and we gonna get this done. We gotta show people what let's don't call it a feminist because it's not. That's what we're. No, no, I'm grown with it. I swear. No, I want a man to open my door. I just want the right man to open my door. That's all I'm saying.
And I want him to do it for the right reason.
Woman is president because the other part that's private. That should be. You should know. Absolutely. I got that ring, like how else did it happen? I got to explain it to you.
Right.
Children. What can you do? So, where shall we begin?
Well, what should the folks at home know about you before we begin?
That for some strange reason for years I was stuck on my ex, like just baby. Can you get the piston ain't firing? What's wrong? Was it that good? Did he knock your back out? No. But he did bring out a lot of me that I hadn't realized. I had allowed things to bury and bury and bury until I didn't even remember they were gone. And for some strange reason, he brought them up. But those parts of me were attached to trauma that I hadn't healed.
Yeah.
And people don't understand. You have to process your feelings. You can't just do this 3-step plan. And it just, I wish. And it's because when you do that, you miss the best part of the experience. And that is, and it's one that I just had to say goodbye to about 48 hours ago, maybe. There's a part of something or things he and I have done that is very much me. Is anger, sorrow, however you want to look. That building block is like that's how I got, and he can't take that. I'm not giving that up. Nobody gets to take that. You know what I mean? So, but does it not mean that I know that he's moved on to someone who's a better fit? Yeah. If I truly loved him, would I not be happy for him? Of course. It still doesn't mean that there's not a selfish part of me that's like grappling with all these things. But now that I've finished it all, I'm so happy I did it. And it's not a matter of me wanting to say, if I rule the world, well, I can rule my world, and that's okay. And if I want to join with other like-minded people who want to build a world together so we can be a nice little tribe and do our thing, hey, the rest of the world just, keep it moving. And I think that's what I'm trying to say to people. We shouldn't have to say one life matters. We shouldn't have to say so many things that we say if we just embrace we the people built on God we trust. And everybody else is figuring it out. Like it's so that's the simplicity of me. And I just find a way to say it really interestingly because I'm hoping one day, it'll get me somewhere where I can enjoy making people feel like they're not alone, or where they can find comfort, help. At least you're crazy, but there's something you can do about it, and there is something on the other side when you're done that's worth it. So you'll be okay if you just kind of give it a chance. I don't know.
Yeah.
That was long-winded. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. That's good. So much juice in there. I love it.
Sorry.
But I think we can all relate to being hung up on someone or something, right? It's just like there's something about it that it's like whatever it is, it's just really hard to let go of.
Well, but then there's also people who maybe you didn't develop at the same speed as everyone else in your family. Like you're in a family of people who they don't have a really hard time making friends. They can make them very quickly. For some strange reason, they can just walk in a room and walk out with friends. And you can walk in a room and, do that superficial get through the day type of stuff. But, that actual let somebody in type of thing, that's a little more of a, like, I'm going to show you what I think you need to see until I'm ready to,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think people understand that when that happens, and then you meet somebody else who has that compliment, people go, well, that's a codependent relationship. Well, at that in particular time, how do you find, it's like you found someone to try and heal with without knowing how to heal, but just by being around them, you start repairing yourself.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, you're like this, so you guys kind of heal into each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like, it doesn't have to be that way. If we learned how to maybe make better virtual communities where I've had a bad day, I want to go play with my friends, or I really need to talk to people, what community can I go into and just kind of know that I'll be safe? And I
Yeah.
don't understand why we don't have that.
Yeah, I mean, there's this kind of universal softening, I feel like that's happening right now, where we're starting to kind of understand that y- the more you fight it, the more power it gets. Do you know what I mean? And like the more you resist, the more it persists. And when you give things energy by fighting them, they suddenly have more power over you. So I think there is this like I said, softening that's going on where we're starting to find that new way of relating to each other. I'm seeing that and feeling that more and more.
Well, the greatest thing that happened, I think, with it getting a little out of control is people have had to face the exact same questions that it doesn't matter how much money you have. I don't care how famous you are. Like I've been looking on Instagram. Selena Gomez has what, over 183 million followers and hasn't really busted over 1% or even 2% of her follower interaction. Where are these people? I know they didn't. So it makes you then look and question information you're seeing on the news, which Trevor Noah even said it when he was talking to Dr. Fauci.
Mhm.
Where do you go for reliable information? Because you'd hear somebody say
Yeah.
one thing, then somebody else would refute it. You got people out here doing crazy because they're scared, and nobody can say who knows,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then you have people in the community that call themselves light workers. These are people who are very spiritual. They're very affected by these things, and they just feel the need to try and help because it bothers them to see people in pain, and they feel like that they can say something or do something to at least ease it. But then you're starting to see where some people are like, oh, that's a great way to make money and get donations and whatever.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're going to beat humanity with its humanity. What are you getting out of this? So it's just really been interesting to sit back and watch being a person of color who for once truly feels like it's really getting the attention it needs and people are honestly giving it a sincere effort
Mhm.
that I resent, and I get ashamed and mortified of resembling those people who are out there being the epitome of ignorance
Uh-huh.
that fuels why they hate so much. How is this? What is this doing for you? I Can
For
I
real.
find another way to feed that for you? Because I personally don't. This is not how I want to get it done. There's got to be another way. But and so I've said a lot on my Instagram, and sometimes when I see another person of your ethnic origin trying to say something and then seeing how they're just getting just crucified. Like if you look at my Instagram, you'll see I talk about G-Eazy a lot and whatever. But I literally have been in his comment things and seen this. Literally, if you just looked at this man's works, he's what more? He's not the Messiah, but he is doing something in those underrepresented communities that is the best that he can do. And what he can't do, he's got people in his network doing whatever, what have you, what not. He's got a song that says, bump Donald Trump. And I'm in his comments the other week, and he literally said, announce, make yourself known and then undelete me. And it was scary who was in there.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just trying to figure out, is that him, or is there a whole spam army that's been happening this whole time on our social media platforms from countries like India, Russia, China? Not trying to be stereotypical from anybody who's come from those countries. It's not that kind of gig. We've got Americans doing some dumb stuff in other areas. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, if you really wanted to disseminate the American culture, by us or the people who are designing these platforms not taking an ethical and moral stance on it, you have weaponized the assassination of our entire species.
Yes.
In what could have been handled in 1 week, and everybody could have been kept it pushing, and now we're hitting on 3 to 5 years before we possibly, truly, honestly, and sincerely know we can stably see some semblance of what should be normal.
Mm-hmm.
Could somebody please tell me what they got out of that? I mean, is that person dead? Because COVID sure didn't care what they did.
Yeah.
These are the questions.
Yeah. So, I mean, that brings us right to the first question, which is, what story is the world not getting?
That the 1% they keep blaming for causing all of the decision making is the 1% you keep giving the decision making power to. If you don't know who the sheriff is in your local neighborhood because you didn't vote him in, isn't that the guy who's training in all of the police that are monitoring in your... You can vote with the almighty dollar. If you don't like what Nike's doing, why keep buying their shoes? But I mean, I also have been trying to put together my own, project for, doing a business, and the state of getting funded is weird. So I've had to learn how to try and approach it in a different way, which I've actually appreciated, learned a lot from people who have had money and absolutely no quality of life, apparently. So, after this whole entire experiment that's been my life, and what segregation was supposed to do for us, and I'm like, who thought that was a good idea to send a child that looks like somebody these people don't like to educate them? What do you think they were going to teach them? Not to like who they saw in the mirror. That's one. Two, what are they going to tell me about me? They don't know me. I don't understand. What am I doing with this information? Why didn't you just take that money, buy us good books, and let us educate ourselves and leave us alone?
Yeah.
But apparently, I'm sorry, these are the questions. These are the stories. These are the stories they're not telling you are the reality of corporate America. The biggest joke they played on minorities was telling them that getting an education would actually change their circumstance. And then sold them an education that would keep them in poverty forever.
Yeah.
How did this help anybody? I'm confused. And where did all that money go? And now we've got where there's been so many Class A, lawsuits. I hope you took business law or whatever and constitutional law, because doing a borrower defense application, no, you got to be an attorney. To get the attorney, you would be able to afford to make the payment. Now, mind you, I've been really good at getting pro bono work. Like, my education has served me well in the fact of knowing what you can and can't do. But without a stable network, like a family, like my family, 3 generations of people who know what it is I've been taught and can support me as I transition, it's my fair lady. You made me into somebody. Where do I fit? How do I live? How do I support myself realistically without constantly having to come back to you because you taught me a culture you left me no space for? we could go on. Like, these are the stories that you're not hearing. This is not what you're hearing, you
Mm.
know? Or how, Minneapolis holds people hostage because they know that the people who really need medical marijuana, because minorities, I'm sorry, our physiology, we don't really do good with synthetic crap. We really don't. We
Mm-mm.
do better with stuff that comes from the earth, which is why y'all took it and drove us crazy. You won't let us, you said we can have it in this state, said we want it to be more medicinal pharmaceutical. I am down for that because I like to have consistency.
Mhm.
Okay, cool, that's beautiful. But I'm on medical assistance because I'm poor. And so I can get the pharmaceutical that will make me half nuts and crazy on the 12
Mhm.
o'clock news for $1. But what I really need is more than half of what you give me to live off of for the month.
Yeah.
And there's a solution, but and the people who are providing the medicine said, we have a way to fix that, but you won't let them do it, and you won't say why you won't let them do it. These are the questions. Like, I'm gonna let you ask something else because
But that's the thing. It's like we know. I mean, we know the answer. We know the answer, right? The answer is white people want to keep the power. They just want to keep the money. They want to keep the power. They like it, right? Like they did this experiment. Okay, let me tell you this. They did this experiment where they had a game of Monopoly that was
right,
rigged. Okay, so two people come in and they pick one person from a coin toss, and they give them the majority of the money, and they give them the majority of the dice. So they get to get get around the board even faster than the
right,
other person, and they
right,
started with most of the money, right?
right,
Now at the end, and immediately they start to feel entitled. They start to act like they fucking own the place, right?
right,
And they're being loud and they're being rude and they're eating most of the snacks and they're
right,
talking smack to this other
right,
person that started off, obviously they were there, that started
right.
off with less. And at the end, they asked them, why do you think you won this game? Not a single person said, because I won that coin toss. None of them.
Oh yeah,
They all said, because I'm
yeah,
better at Monopoly. Okay.
yeah. There's a video on YouTube called "Is Success Hard Work or Luck?" It just came out like maybe a couple weeks ago. He breaks that whole argument down. I was like, thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love seeing people who can critically think and do an actual logical argument. It's so refreshing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. The funny thing is, and it's really humorous. That's the weird thing about me. When you have a system that said, can you teach a child to beat a test? And then they go, whoa, and we got a black one too. Can the monkey learn? I was born year of the monkey, so I don't mind saying it. It doesn't bother me. in Chinese culture, the monkey king, bruh, read up on him. I can
Mm-hmm.
handle it.
Mm-hmm.
But and then you get me who's like, oh yeah, teach me a system and I will tell you exactly how to break it. I know its weak points. I just
Yeah.
why? Because that's what they wanted to see. That's what they taught me to do. Break it. So yes, I have walked into situations. My daughter, who's lighter than me, because her father is lighter than you, first generation removed from Achtung, but
Dang.
sorry, there's Deutsch on my grandmother's side too. So look,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, she could pass. We can go there. But the point is that it we've gotten away. I know I've gotten away with murder. I also
Mm-hmm.
know I've been thrown under the bus. It's really been what's held me back, confidence.
Yeah.
Which is really hard to look at you and say like, whoa, that tells me. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm the chick who can say I've been in the white suburbs. Y'all got personal issues just like all of us. Like people, just because what you see on the screen, come on, bro. And it's like, I used to try and explain that to people in my family who are like, white folks this and white folks that. I'm like, white folks are people. What are you talking about? They work hard, they're scared. Like, what are you talking about? If you walked up on somebody and did such and such and so and so, and it's like, do you live here? No, it's rude. Like, now, mind you, there's other things where, you know, your culture can be known to kind of invade a space as if you somehow, piece of paper, we sat down, you know, we did this ritual and it made it ours. Gaia, the planet, is actually a sentient being, and I don't think she really appreciates you saying you own, because the instant she don't want you here, your little tent and everything with it just kind of goes into the ground.
Yeah.
You know.
Also,
and she just looks at you and says, I'm sorry, were you trying to say something?
like, if she also, let's just say, if you do own the earth, then you are doing a shitty job of taking care of your stuff. Okay?
And you live here. Do you have a spare planet on standby?
This is your spaceship, okay? You're destroying your own damn spaceship. Space is not a friendly place for humans.
In your own bed. How many times does God gotta rub your nose in it to say, like, you don't want me to come fix this? You really don't. Have you not noticed I burnt like most of Australia? California didn't had it 2 or 3 times. How many times you gonna tell me to come fix it before you figure out you should probably just clean up your own mess?
Yeah, clean up your own garbage patch. Like, yeah. I hear that. So
we're good. I'm sorry.
So let's move on to another question, which is, so what we know what the problems are. We know what the problems are, right? We see them, we live with them.
We started caring about vitamin T just a little too much. We started caring about it so much that we started fighting each other. Why, girl? Why? No, it's not really that serious. We can work this out. How do you want to do this?
So that's the question. What should we be focused on? What should we be focused on? Because we know that what we resist persists, and the more we focus on shit and put energy onto it, the more real it becomes and the bigger it gets. So where should we be putting our collective focus? You tell me.
Stop lying to yourself.
Well, yeah.
Run your life like the personal business corporation brand. Your little makeshift kingdom that you are the queen and king. You own every bit of your life. And make your lifestyle reflect what makes you happy. The whole world right now is changing. No one is going to blame you for saying, I don't like doing it the way I've been doing it before. There's a couple of people who have been forcibly put into that position. If you're a tarot reader, it's called the Tower Moment. Now you can see it one of 2 ways. You can see it as oh my God, a catastrophic event that you just lay down, die, and never get back up. But see, guess what happens? Once it's over, you're gonna like open up your eyes, take a breath, and even if you're not in this existence, I'm really trying to explain to you, you're gonna there's something next. So once it's done, so what you're gonna do. And then the question right now that we all get to look at is say, so everything that you've done that you thought was so important, that you really thought defined you as a person and made you the man and all of that, now that you've had nothing but like 3-4 months to just take a good grimy look at it, how you feeling? And if you don't like what you see, the only person who can clean that up is you. And but it's so hard. It's called Dark Night of the Soul for a reason. It off. It's what makes you who you become. Take your dark side out to lunch and make friends. Because it can get you out of this mess. See, it's your hustle. It's your drive. It's the primal part of you that's like, I know how to navigate this jungle if you just take me out this cage. and accept the fact that, yeah, you put your energy in places that was a bad investment. You're gonna have to take that L. A lot of people taking worse L's. You'll be fine. Take a look around you. You might see something you never noticed before and just slip, trip, and get happy on that. Does it? Do you see anybody else sitting out here talking about, "Woo, I'm so happy I have a Lamborghini because that's my entire." Okay. I mean, it's beautiful if you're a car aficionado. Okay. If it's one that literally you paid money for because, do you know the craftsmanship that went into it? It's a work of art, I ain't mad at you. But if you did it simply because, I don't know, it looked good, it's, see, because I can't say that, because Cardi B has earned the right to have bought a Lamborghini because she looked fly, you know, taking a picture in front of it. She comes from the Dominican Republic, yes, and she does, when she got something to say, she say it. She put, you know, she puts her energy behind things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She doesn't try and say she's perfect. She could have just slipped away from so many things, and she said, nope, I'm gonna just keep going. She out here doing what a lot of other grown women should have been doing a few decades ago. So I ain't mad at, you know, that generation for wanting to do that, but I am mad at our generation for not showing them, well, if you're going to do it, here's how you get it done. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
What's real wealth for you?
You know, where is my coffee cup?
Coffee. Coffee is wealth.
Real wealth. Well, if you do it from a financial standpoint of like you've actually taken a class or two in finance and you know all that Wall Street stuff that they teach you matters. Wealth is your ability to maintain your lifestyle at its current pace with no more resources coming in. How long can you do that? Based on what you have in your portfolio? If you can do that for 2 months, that is a healthy place to be. You know, that's healthy because that's realistic. You know, that's a good place that a low income person, you know, with some diligence working together, that's been moving towards that, you know, for a good 5-10 year pace. This is a good place. This is a doable goal. If you are sitting there trying to figure out how you're going to get to the check, I don't think you understand how the economy works. And it's not the job that's broken. It's not everything. It's you. You are going so against whatever energy that flows within you that you are working up. You're working up straight. You shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that hard. If you're surrounded by people who share a common goal with you, you should just be like, ooh, ooh, ooh. I mean, if you're the person who's trying to make a point, okay, so be it. But be in a position to be able to like hold that line. Otherwise, all you're doing is making yourself mad for no reason. Like, I don't know. I feel like I might have lost that question in there somewhere, but
No, I'm trying to get at, you know, what makes you feel wealthy? What gives you a sense of abundance in your life?
see, and that's what I'm saying. Like right now, I feel very lucky that the circumstance I'm in, I honestly, if it, gosh forbid, if I was to have turned up positive, it ended up in a situation where I couldn't care for myself. I actually don't have to necessarily depend on anyone other. I have resources, you know,
Yeah.
in the state that I can call that, you know, my health, you know, healthcare, whatever. And I think that's pretty wealthy because there's, during this pandemic, I did some work with a Social Security advocacy group for disability,
Yeah.
helping people fill out the applications. There are some people who, the stories, it was that every day I used to just sit there for like an hour and just walk around my house saying thank you. So yeah, to me, that feels like, you know, wealthy. Where would I like to be? Someone who can actually be out there like I said, doing things that are helping other people to, maybe you're not where I'm at right now, but maybe I can tell you something to help get you there, or at least do something where you like believe you actually like, at least I got you, today.
Yeah.
That might be all I can do, but it's something. Tomorrow you might find somebody else, being able to know that when I leave here, I've done something for my family to know I love them, you
Well,
know?
this is a perfect segue. We're gonna go
Sorry.
into my favorite little exercise I always do at the end here. So, you can close your eyes or open them as you prefer. All right, beautiful. And I'm gonna wave my little magic wand, and all your dreams have just come true. Everything that you want, everything that you deeply desire on like a core soul level has just come to pass. So I want you to look around your life, all these amazing things around you that are giving you meaning, that are bringing you this joy. Just describe to me this ideal existence that has now come to pass.
I wake up in the morning, and when I when I wake up, Alexa says good morning, or Jarvis, or whoever I've
Whoever.
programmed, saying good morning. How'd you sleep? Um, Only because I really don't want to feel like my perfect world is dependent on a guy. So I'm gonna say if there is somebody else that can fit, my personal assistant, my electronic guy, perfect.
Okay.
But I'm not,
Okay.
I'm trying to leave space for that person,
Yeah.
not kind of define what that is, because I don't want to X out something that could be.
Well, and this is in this moment. Let me just be clear.
Right.
Like
No, but
this
that's
could
what I'm
change
saying.
five
In
minutes
this,
from
no, but
now.
that's what I'm saying. Like in
Yeah.
this moment, it's like you're asking me to tell the universe, what do you want me to manifest? So, oh, I'm not going to manifest something that doesn't leave room for
Okay. So
a
there's space
companion,
there.
a
Got it.
partner,
Okay.
my playmate. Um,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
and when I go to work, I'm going to my lab, because eventually I want to be able to have it to where it's a co-living, co-working space where
What does it
creative
look like? Describe
come.
it for me.
Um, well, it's a live work play space that's designed in a way to where it works. It's environmental design, so it fits into the space as it should, as if it was meant to be there, not it was put there.
So it feels
It,
organic.
oh, very. It just,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of structure to but it just makes sense, and it's a statement of itself. I love architecture.
What does it
And then when
smell
you walk
like in there?
in,
What does it smell like?
it's got different sections that are meant to have different energy flows, like,
Mm.
like very feng shui, but where it's not always all calm, but when you walk in there, it's like creatives just want to be there,
Yeah.
because somebody's doing something, you know what I mean? And like I said, experiments are running on, we'll have the main game that I will have built, through the hive mind, that allows us to have almost like a digital city or
Yeah.
situation where we can run, well, this is what we think will work. I think I know how to run your city better than you do, and run simulations where it's fun, but you kind of get to see like, well, who had the better solution, and discussions, and it's people can have a very passionate debate, but at the end it's all, you know, hugs. And it's like, I don't want to hug you right now. That wasn't fun. It's like, that's okay, but I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, just let me walk it off. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and I am able to see just the beautiful parts of different cultures or different places. It doesn't have to be like a whirlwind tour, but just being able to show people why urban alien adventures. Here's why you came to this planet. And you might not be able to go all those places with me, but maybe I can show you how you can go those places where you are, or with me, in a way to where it's like you're here, but you don't have to deal with all the inconvenience of like, going through customs and visas, and it's hot, that type of thing. It's just, I don't know. I just want to feel like I did something to make people just understand it doesn't have to be bad. I get it can be, but it can be better.
Why do you think you're on this planet?
For that very reason. I thought it was a good idea. I looked down and told God, is like, I know what's wrong and I can fix it. And he was like, oh, honey, you're so cute.
Have
Like, no. He was like, no, I know how I built you and I know why you're seeing it that way, but it's not going to work the way you think. Please don't ask this of me. And I begged and I begged and I begged and I begged. And he was right. But now I started, so now I got to finish, which
Yeah.
really kind of sucks. Because Jesus died for your sins. I'm just trying to get out of a really bad idea.
Yeah.
But
So I'm seeing the better idea here. I'm seeing the vision of the better idea. Flesh it out a little bit more for me. What else are you creating in this world that now that the old system is dying off and people are kind of letting it die off, what is this beautiful new thing that you are helping create?
technology is a tool, people. It's not anything that can do anything more than you perceive it is capable of accomplishing without power, program, which is written by a person. It's a paperweight. When you say you're not technically savvy, what you're actually saying is I'm unable to read directions and follow them. Mind you, there are some tech people out there that don't know how to speak user. You're called a user for a reason. Look up what that word means and then decide. I'm not a user. When you bought that iPhone, did you actually take the time to watch the videos on how it worked? Or did you just bitch at the people because you didn't go bing bong and it just knew what you wanted? And how's it going to know what you want if it doesn't know something about you? So we're invading privacy because you don't want to remember how to set your own alarm. You want it all on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. That's what I'm saying, people. Like, come on. Really? Would you ever expect a hammer to build a house?
Oh, I love that.
Ever in your
Yeah.
life. But you think a machine can replace a person. You don't even know how to make a person without a, a female. You try. They're not cute. You don't know how to cook. Stop trying. I'm just saying, just men, if you are really so good at things that have to do with procreation, why did God give us the ability to be more in his image? Because life comes from us. And he gave you sense to recognize that very simple fact. I'm just saying. I don't hate them. I love them. I really do. I just want it to be heard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It can be a little crazy. I kind of like it, you know, a little with some nuts, but I'm just.
How do we bring more balance?
Act like you got some sense. No, be realistic. I mean, just have a good talk with yourself and say, should I really be having this conversation with this woman that I know I couldn't afford to like buy her anything if I accidentally slip, trip, and hit it up real quick? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would I waste her time knowing daggum well I can't fulfill anything I'm about to say? Get on your grown, stay in your lane, afford what you're trying to talk to, and then recognize she can do it all by herself. I don't need you for that. I need you for like making me feel like, ooh, you make this so much fun. That's what a woman needs. So
Mm-hmm.
be fun. And the next time your relationship falls apart, ask yourself, how much of a bitch am I really in? Because I guarantee you it wasn't all their fault.
Mm.
I know for me, I can actually claim the C word. I didn't always want to be that person, but sometimes I embrace that, all capital letters in neon lights.
Yep.
It probably wasn't a good idea at the time. However, we live, we learn.
That we do.
I've left an indelible mark on many of people. It, yes. Everything has a lining somewhere. Time fixes a lot.
So true. On that note, how can
I
the
know,
lovely
right? So,
people, where can the lovely people find you to get more
um,
of this awesomeness?
this awesomeness is, oh gosh, when I do stuff, I want to look like I want to look professional. I have unreasonable standards on me. It's ridiculous. On Instagram, I'm at i.b.loud. And if you want to know about my open source project that I'm out here going, I'm going to build.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting the PR shot? Anyway,
Yep.
that's at loptrlab.com, spelled Loptr lab.com.
What does that stand for?
Loptr?
Mm-hmm.
It's a boss level character in Bayonetta 2. There's a whole history behind it. It's also Old Norse for Loki.
Oh, nice.
Air and sky.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I see if you're gonna dream big. Big.
Absolutely.
Uba.
Hoog. Thank you so much for being here. This was awesome.
Thank you for having me. I hope I did you good.
You
I'm
did
sorry
great.
if I was long-winded. You can just sushi that stuff. Like, dang, honey.
No, I just like to leave it. Just let it be. Let it breathe.
Oh, do you breathe again? Why did that just make me think of like John Wick and Halle Berry's character in there and him looking at her like, don't. And she just, and when she was done, she's like, he shot my dog.
Uh-huh.
That, oh, sorry. For some reason, you just made me think of that, like, you know, where you're sitting there and it's just like, breathe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like, I'm going to take a deep breath as I can just calmly, cleanly, and with no regret, just bust. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's just you.
I had that effect on people. What can I say?
No, I'm just saying sometimes Hollywood gets it right and they make that moment that as a female, you're like, that's how you do that.
Yes.
Get all black in the theater. And be proud about it too. Like, it's so rare to see us do something that it's like all day, every day. I would do that. You know, that's just me.